Alrighty guys, I think I did a video of taking the motor off and starting on the hydraulic pump project, but if I didn't, so here's what I'm up to. I went and I pulled the two pump drives, or can't even say there's two of them because they're both missing the keyway. Here is failed attempt number 3, but Steve, there's only one screwed up keyway. I lost two of these just trying to, the first one I started on flew out of the bench vise and I have no idea where it went. And the first one I actually dropped right here somewhere. If somebody sees it, point it out in the comment section and I'll find it. But as of right now, I only have this one keyway made up in here, and I actually had to file it shorter. So I'm going to very carefully, where's the camera looking? About the tape measure? Okay. And move some crap off the bench. But very carefully slide this gear off of here. Well, it's actually easier. But there's this keyway. It's a little tiny wee thing. It is by no means perfect, but it'll do the job. Look at that, see about. It's so small if you breathe on it wrong. You just about lose the darn thing. So that's why everybody says be very careful putting this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the snap ring back here like so. And then I'm going to slide the bearings and the spacers on from the outside. And then put the snap, this snap ring's on here that holds the bearings on the shaft. And then there is a large snap ring that holds the bearings from sliding back and forth in the case. So that's plan A. That's what I'm going to do. I probably won't get the camera out, but I'll obviously take a couple pictures or videos and tell you guys how it went together, and I'll let you guys know, because I have two sets of bearings. I'm missing one spacer. And I only have enough snap rings for one complete setup, so yeah. Let me get the snap ring back on here, and I'll tell you guys about my disaster if I lose something down in this transmission. I am going to try like hell not to, but see how it goes, because I'm going to have to put this in first and then put one of the bearings in to hold it in place. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but see what happens. Alrighty guys, so near as I can tell here, I want to double check myself and do a dry fit before I'm messing with this inside the transmission. Because once I go in the transmission, all I want to be concerned about is putting it together and getting the snap ring on this shaft so it can physically not come apart. Then I'll worry about the big bearing snap ring afterwards. It's not as important. So regardless, the only thing I see here are the two spacers, 5 and 6. See macro going in? Yep. So, come over here to the 5 and 6. I'm blocking the light, guys, I'm sorry. But basically, number 6 is the longer spacer. Otherwise, they're identical. So number 6 goes in between the two bearings. So the parts I have here, you're looking at a small, a big, and two bearings and snap ring. So from what I understood from that, put the small spacer, a bearing, does not matter which bearing, they're the same. The other thing I'm going to suggest is filing the end of the shaft so these will slide down on here easier. It's actually went down on here easier. I had this together once. There we go. Like so. Then this one. Then this one. And like I said, I'm probably going to take some sandpaper and touch up the end of this shaft. Funny, with two hands, boy does that baby go down on there easy. One hand here, it's a pain. It'll go down on there, but I want it a whole lot easier than that, because I'm not going to be able to take my other hand and tap on it, but I'll according to what I understand from the parts breakdown, that looks like that. Everybody else agree? I hope so, because by the time you guys see this, it'll have been assembled for probably a week or two, perhaps. So, I'm going to take this back apart and touch this up a little bit. It may even be I got a little bit of dirt on it or something, somewhere. I don't know. I'll just touch it up. And then, yeah, we'll go for assembly. I won't show you guys assembling, just the finished product. As you can see, the snap ring groove is going to be easy to get to. Oh, it's not going to focus on it. Darn it. There you go, you guys can see it. But the snap ring groove is exposed. So, I'm going to go for broke and see what happens. Here we go. Got extra pump shaft and extra gear. And bearings. One spacer. Alrighty, I think you guys can see there. So basically, if you're going to do it this way, a socket that'll fit over the pump shaft is good. Or if you're like me and you happen to have an extra spacer that'll go on here, that's good. Because it helps to drive the bearings in and just hold pressure on the back of the shaft. Right now I'm putting the snap ring on. Right there, I'm pretty sure it clicked on. It's a real tiny snap ring, so you're not going to hear an audible click. Don't mind the back of my forehead. I'm pretty sure it's in there. Sure looks like it is. You can't get on there. I don't have a pair of snap ring ends that are small enough to get on there. So I'm just... Yep, it's in there. So there's that. All you gotta do is... This said snap ring. I think you guys are in frame there. Hopefully the camera's still focused. Other than I need to flip my snap ring pliers. Like I said, I got my junky ones out for this. You're like, Steve, shouldn't you use your good ones for this? Again, I don't have small enough ends to deal with that. These must have like really tiny holes in them snap rings. I thought about changing the snap rings or drilling the holes bigger, but for a one-time job it's not bad. Now if you're doing this like some kind of race car or race tractor or something like that, and this was coming apart every weekend. One second guys, I'm in a very dangerous spot at the moment. Snap ring is half in, and the pliers came off. Great. That's great. I about fell on the camera too. I don't think that's quite in the groove. Now hold on a second. Does it show a snap ring like that in there? Oh no, let me go back to the parts breakdown. Didn't want to be trying to get something to seat in there if it's not supposed to be in there. I'm going to assume that sets the depth. What did I do with that screwdriver I just had? It's over here. Okay. See, this is why I don't show a lot of work, guys, because it takes up a lot of time. Gotta be careful because maybe it is in there, I don't know. There it went. Pretty much the way I see it, that sets the depth. You guys even see my finger? Nope. That sets the depth, how far out the bearing assembly can come. Because there is some free play in there on that gear inside. So, let me see here. Is this one? Nope. You guys can see it spins with the stuff that's supposed to spin with the motor, so apparently I did something right. So, I guess I'm either going to make or I'm going to put silicone on the back of this pump. Darn it. It's alright. Unprofessional. I had the adjustments loose. Anyhow, so I'm either going to make up a gasket or just put some silicone on the back of this pump. I'm thinking I might just... Well, if I had some gasket material, I'd make it up, huh? Well, let me see if I can scrape the gasket off the cover, whatever I did with that. Right there. Right there. And see what I can do. And I'm going to take a rag and clean this pump off, because obviously it's pretty dirty. And we'll just stick it in there and line it up. I might loosen up the hydraulic lines a little bit, just to ease in mounting, knowing these lines are really bent dangled, and before I start this machine or turn it over, I'll have to fill the reservoir up with some hydraulic oil. I think the Yanmar transmission oil I have will be plenty good for that. So, alrighty guys, that's installing. You guys zoomed in? You guys are way zoomed in. I'm sorry. That's installing a hydraulic pump drive. Hydraulic pump drive. So it really is fairly simple. It's just a matter of taking the motor off, and then everything seems like it should work. And good time to inspect your PTO and things. Mine's I'd say about 50%. The front's good for sure. The back, the lining may be off the back. I'm not 100% sure, but for right now I'm just going to run it. And if I start using it and the clutch is slipping, well, guess what? I gotta split the trans and replace it. So, alright. Bring you guys back when I get everything put back together and clean the carb again. After the last clip, I started it back up and it was flooding again. So, apparently the carb is only good for about one run, and then as soon as you shut it off, that's it. Probably just getting junk out of there, because the gas will kind of loosen everything and then just keep knocking the pieces off. I don't have any carb cleaner, so, you know. Alright, plug you guys in and let you charge. I didn't charge you guys before because the power was flicking on and off, so I don't want to lose all this footage I have from this whole last week. I pop the memory card out and charge it. That might not be a bad idea. Alrighty guys, so I got everything back together here. Just kind of double checking myself. Nothing too out of place. Wires aren't pinched. Stator's hooked back up. I don't have the gas line hooked back up, but I just want to run this thing for a second. I cranked it over once, so that would have primed the hydraulic pump. So basically, if this thing starts up and runs, I want to try the hydraulics and make sure they're going to work. I don't see why they won't, but who knows. That was just off fuel that was in the carb there, so that looks like it's working. I don't see any like profuse puddles leaking out anywhere. Kind of have to, like I said, go over some more stuff. I gotta like zip tie this throttle cable over here so it's not sticking way out in the tire, and just dumb stuff. So I'm gonna kind of do that. I gotta run a wire for the headlights. I gotta clean the carb again. Why do you clean your carb again, Steve? Well, because the needle seat's not sealing, and if you have the fuel on with the fuel pump, it blows through it again. it's good for a little while, and then it gets a piece of dirt in it, and then we're back to square one again. So just take it apart. Luckily, this carb's easy to clean. It's not like a Briggs where it's like a major undertaking. So anyhow, that under control. Get it down. Well, I kind of want to leave it forward so that way there's not oil on the sealant I put on around the pump for the moment. It is see, it is 3:30 in the afternoon, so either I'll probably do it later because when it's down it'll be easier, a little bit safer anyhow. Take this back tire off, fix the bead, put some air in the other one. I've said it a million times, but who knows if I'm in the same part or the later part. Oh, and you guys remember that screwdriver I was hunting for earlier? I couldn't find it like 3 parts ago, right there. And there's the other one there. So which one I had, I'm not sure, and which one I laid there during the video, I don't know. They look the same. One had JB Weld on the end. I think that's this one I laid over there. So it must have been here and I didn't notice it. It happens. But as a whole, everything is working here. The only thing I really got to do is frame bolts. I haven't done that. That's kind of important, isn't it? Yeah. If the back keeps running and the front keeps it going, could be a problem. So, yeah. Yep, I think I'm done BSing. The only thing, I mean, the hydraulic lines on this are definitely tweaked and skewed compared to normal ones, but as long as they ain't leaking, I ain't gonna mess with it. Because what this one needs, it needs like twisted, this one here, needs twisted in and down and held out up here at the same time. But I have a fear the more and more I mess with it, the more and more there's a chance that they'll start leaking. And I would really like for them not to leak. Because if they leak, then I gotta go get lines out of another one, or I gotta get soft lines made for this. And considering I just filled it with hydraulic oil, that'll be a mess. Because it actually took a good bit of oil. Because I put that little bit I had in there, and then I halfway filled this jug back up. How much is in it now? Because I just cycled the cylinder back and forth. It's about the right level. And who knows, it might fill up some more. Who knows what kind of air pockets are in it. So, righty gentlemen, I babbled on for 2 minutes extra than I should have. But everything's looking good. Hitch is back on. Should do something with that. Well, maybe I'll do it when I take it back off. But because that exhaust pipe over there has been run into or something, and I'd like to find the original Onan tips for this. I mean, it's kind of cool they go out to the side like that, but I kind of like the original Onan ones where they just kind of blow straight back and down a little bit, but blows off to the side, kind of like cool duals on a semi-truck. Also, for anybody wondering, this is my top dead center mark with it straight up for the keyway on the crank. And luckily that one came right off. Came right out. I didn't have any trouble with it falling off at all. So, like I said, I'm gonna pick up a lot of my tools here. Just kind of finishing doodads and details. It'd be nice to put some kind of PTO load on this and just see if it works. Like the ultimate load would be like a rotary plow in a garden or something. Which this does not have front attachment brackets on it, so that complicates things. That leaves just a belly mower, right? Right. I mean, I could throw a mower on it just to try it. Will this be a mowing tractor? No. If the PTO clutch is actually bad, it might just end up being a snowplow tractor. So, we'll see. See what I get up to.